Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
For more fun times and
shenanigans.
If this is your very first time joining us, welcome first of all. We're glad that you are here. This is our sibling duo podcast / YouTube channel about life with chronic and invisible conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are siblings.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's confusing. I'm the white version. She's the not white version.
We ran out of toner at a certain point.
No, the first test print sheet that ever comes out, like if it's faded, you were fully
just the outline.
Yeah, that was what I got going.
Which is silly because he does tan.
I do. I'm gonna tan next year. I get planned for it. Anyways, if you want to join us, you can watch us on YouTube and you can watch us on Facebook.
Yes.
I keep forgetting to plug that the Facebook has video now. We also do audio on Audible. Are we on Audible? Yeah, we're on Audible. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean.
Yep. There's a few other small ones in there.
Yeah.
Littered throughout.
And then watch us. Again, just watch us. It's fun. There's more to see. You can also join the fun if you want to join our Discord and talk to other awesome people.
Yep.
We have a great community of people. And we also do our lives on Friday and Saturday on YouTube and on Discord.
And those are wonderful. We really appreciate getting to hang out with you guys. So don't be shy. Or do be shy and you can lurk.
Yeah, lurk. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, with that out of the way, what are we talking about today?
Well,
I know. I'm like, I don't think I can tell you. I think it's going to have to just.
Wait, I got this. We're talking about how to relate with other chronic illness sufferers. I mean, that's the gist of it. Lots of little different roads that we're going to take, but that's the overall.
Yeah. Yes. But before we can do that, it is time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Indeed. Ta-da! Do you want to go first this week?
Yeah.
Wait, no, you go last because yours, you had stuff.
Yeah.
He had stuff.
I was going to say, I actually had stuff to talk about.
Worked. I went to work. I did have a day where I went in late because I just couldn't get myself together. I hurt myself pretty good in the morning.
Yeah.
And then went to work with my cane. That was fun. And everybody's like, what's wrong? What happened to you? Oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I dislocated my hip. It's fine. And then the next day coming back with no cane and being like,
you're better?
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
Hey, can you not fake it next time? Please stop faking it.
I feel so weird doing that.
It reminds me of this TikTok I saw over the week about, it was in the UK, some lady accosting this guy for having parked.
Oh, yes.
Right?
It's like,
and she's like,
good thing
you don't look like you have what? Let me see your tag. And she looks, and he's like,
and she goes, it doesn't look like my tag.
It's not real. Is it photocopied? Like, no, it's.
And then she tries to reach into his car to pull out it's insane.
Yes, super.
The harassment.
Super entitled. Yeah. Like, excuse you. Well, I want to park here. Well, you can't because I'm parked here and I need the handicap spot.
And I'm not moving and I'm allowed to be here. So.
Right.
I would have ended that conversation so much sooner. Like, honestly, I would have just been like, roll up the window. I'm going to sit here until you go away.
Yeah.
And then I'll get out of my car and go do my stuff.
Yeah, no joke. But that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's ridiculous. It's this like, and it's not people's fault, but people who are generally well have this thing where you get sick and then you get better, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're disabled, you're always that level of like, you can't walk, you need a cane, you limp, you like all these things that like
all the time.
Yes.
Right.
And it has to be forever.
You're always visible.
Right. And if you're ever not totally visible, you must be faking it.
Right. Well, and it has to be a severe disability too. It can't be like technically like I'd be minorly disabled in their minds, you know, because I don't visually show.
Right.
I use my cane in public when I need to.
Yeah.
But otherwise it wouldn't show.
Can you imagine like 3 years ago?
4
years
God.
Ago,
yeah.
When you were like, I live in my bed. But the same person, different time.
Yeah. Imagine that.
That's how that works. It's great. So explaining it to the kids works better than like having to deal with the adults. Oh, and then the next day I went back without my cane and I fainted at work.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
But nobody saw you. That's
nobody
the
saw
part.
me, thank God. Because my room partner who hates me, I don't know, whatever. I came in to like put stuff away and get things ready for the day. And she walked out and I was like, cool beans. And then I was like, oh no. And I look and my heart rate is just climbing
Oh.
and climbing. And so I get down to like, I'm in like a squat with my knees propped against the cabinets.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the corner. This is the best way to do it every time, is the corner. And leaning forward. So I know I'm good if I like lights out. And I'm watching my heart rate just climb and climb and climb. And
Yeah.
I was squatting and I hit what, like 135?
Ooh, and then it went up more.
And then I blanked out for a minute. And then I rebooted and
So shame.
was like shaking and sweating and
Those are the worst when you come back and you still feel it. Like you're like,
I was like in POTS hell
mhm.
the entire day. It was miserable. And then I had another episode of Tacky where my heart rate was like, ha ha.
Yeah.
You know how you're just standing there? It's
I
really
was-
hard now.
I was super tacky last night.
I don't know what it is.
I was melting too. My
Yeah.
temperature jumped.
Yeah. I was worried that I had a fever.
Same. I took my
Yesterday.
temperature, but I was perfect.
fine.
Like, yeah.
But like I really thought I must have had a fever or
Yeah,
something. Because it's that
same.
kind where you can feel it radiating
Yeah.
off
Jen
of
touched
you.
me. I was like, you feel very hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
So-
So I took my temperature.
I don't know what it is. It's like all the blood rushes to your outer layer.
Yeah.
I guess the outer layer of your skin.
Your dermis.
Your dermis. Sorry. I'm not usually.
It's one of
this
those days.
But yeah, so then I had 2 episodes of Tacky.
God.
Got home. There was something else that happened that was weird before.
Like during the week?
I don't even remember. Oh no, so Tacky was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
All of that was yesterday without my cane. The cane was Thursday. So after like fainting at work and then having another tachycardic episode and then being overheated all day, I came home and I got ready
Oh, that's
to
right.
come and do the live. And on my way out the door, I fell down the stairs.
And our longtime viewers will know that that's not her job. That's my job. I'm the one who falls down the stairs all the time.
I am the one who falls on the stairs. Yeah.
So
And
she's
it was
stepping
just
into
one
my
of
lane.
those, like, everybody's like, how did it happen? Because
Slip.
normal people are always asking me, like, how did you fall down the stairs? How do you keep falling down the stairs? You need to go slower on the stairs. And I'm like, it's not about speed. It's not like I'm, like, running down them at the speed of light.
Do you remember when I was in the hospital and Bappa was calling me stupid and it
Yeah.
was like, what were you doing on the stairs? It was like, I was walking down the stairs.
Walking.
Why weren't you holding the banister?
I
was holding the banister. Then how did you fall? It just happened, man. I don't know. One minute I'm doing stairs, the next the stairs are doing me,
Yeah.
and I'm on the floor.
And I live on, like, a split level, so I'm walking down this flight of stairs, and I fell so hard that I threw what was in my hand to the point where it went
Bounced.
through the, like, rails,
Yeah.
down the other flight of stairs, and then across the room.
Oh my god.
And then I'm, like, laying at the bottom of these stairs, or, like, partially on the stairs, just,
Yeah.
like, trying to catch my breath and, like, figure out what just happened
Right.
to me. And my husband comes over and he just goes, "Did you fall?" And I was like, "Yes," because I was worried I was gonna be in trouble.
Dude, do you remember when that happened to me the other day? When I fell down the
Yes.
stairs
And
and
then
Jen yelled at
They
me?
get mad.
She was
They
pissed.
get worried, and then they get mad
Yeah.
because they're scared.
You shouldn't have done that. I didn't
Like,
mean
I'm
to.
so sorry, and I even apologized to him.
Same.
He wasn't mad; he was fine.
Right, no,
But
but
I was like, "I'm
there's
sorry,
that-
I fell down the stairs."
Yep.
Ah. But yeah,
Relatable.
so that was my yesterday, and so today I'm paying for it. It was crazy. I had this like broken blood vessel.
Mhm.
Oh, the other one was the dislocating my finger
Yeah.
at work during
And
the
then
day.
making a
during the
makeshift
same
splint.
day. Yeah, I had to like makeshift splint it. I cut off the end of one of those like flosser things and taped it because I just needed to immobilize the one knuckle.
Yeah.
And this thing was like it bled all the way to the corner, like to the edges.
And then it got
and then,
reabsorbed.
And then it reabsorbs so quickly. So if anybody knows why that is,
Yeah.
I'm really so curious because like bruises don't do that. Normal
No.
I hurt myself bruises don't do that. But when blood vessels explode, they are reabsorbed extremely quickly, and I want to know why.
Right. Why
And I
doesn't the blood
can't-
pool?
Yeah. I can't figure out like what search terms I could use to find out that information.
Mhm.
Because even Googling like my veins burst, they're like, oh yeah, when you put a needle in it, and you're like, no, when I am standing still.
Oh, this is a bizarre tangent.
Okay.
Follow me here, though, because you were
Yes.
just talking about exploding veins.
Yes.
I was watching a video about a doctor demonstrating the proper way to do a needle,
Oh, okay.
and it involves turning it. So
Really?
if you think of a needle, it has a sharp, pointy bit
Yes.
and is
that's
at an angle,
supposed to
right?
go
So like you have this
down.
point.
Yeah.
You puncture the vein and then turn it, and then you push it in, and it doesn't pierce the other side of the vein. It pushes against it and gets guided instead of going through all the way. So he would insert,
Interesting.
turn it 180, and then
Huh.
and he was showing it in like a rubber tube, like showing you how like it'll catch if you do it the one way, but if you turn it,
That's fascinating.
right?
Weird.
Something to think about. It's just
Yeah.
random knowledge I picked up.
But yes, needless to say, I did not have a good day yesterday, and I'm feeling the
Oh
the
man.
beginnings of the consequence for falling
Yeah.
down the stairs today.
Mm-hmm.
And my wrist is really, really jacked up. And Chris
Yeah.
took a picture, so maybe he'll put it in here.
I'll put it.
It might be in here. I don't know.
Bing.
Right here. Ooh, over. Oh, there.
If I do this long
It's
enough, I'll see
somewhere.
it and I'll edit
It's
it in.
right here.
It's right here.
Bing.
Still here. Okay.
Yeah. All right. How was your week?
Oh, my week. I had a really good week. So much so that I forego. How do you
Forwent.
Forwent? Is that?
I think.
I forewented. I didn't join a raid last night because I wanted to do the live
Yeah.
because I had good news and I wanted to share it with everybody.
Mhm.
So the beginning of my week was weird. Did I get the Concerto last week or was it this week?
Last week.
Okay, so I've been
'Cause
functioning
yeah.
on Concerto, which is weird to be back in
Yes.
human again.
He has a brain. And he
It's
can
weird.
find it and communicate with it.
But so much better.
I'm jealous all the time.
It's night and day though. Like
Yeah.
I'm able to get to the thoughts now, and
Mhm.
God help me, there are
And
so
everyone
many.
else.
Yeah. Started the week. Oh, I got that delivery early. So for the new set, we
yeah.
need more of these sound blankets,
Mhm.
and I ordered them like 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
or no, a week ago, and it was supposed to come like mid-September, late September.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fine because we have like a timeline for
Right.
construction that has to happen, and then whatever.
Yeah.
But they showed up early, and I was super hyped because I was worried that they would be the last piece that we're waiting on.
Right.
But they came, and we have enough to do like tons of really cool things.
Awesome.
Oh, the set's gonna be so good, guys! I can't wait to do interviews again.
Yeah.
Like actually have people
Yeah.
over and
Oh
talk.
my God. It's going to be awesome. And not cramped and not fighting with the table and not moving the camera. Because sometimes we have to put the camera on the couch in order to shoot enough like room.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that shot's not optimum. Like
Yeah.
the way we have it set up, or will have it set up, it'll be so much
Mhm.
nicer, and we'll have options, and we can have like demonstrations on like PT stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Season
I'm
7.
excited.
Look forward to it. And then on Tuesday, my my wife set up a really awesome appointment.
Mhm.
She got in early too because they were gonna schedule me
I
out.
was shocked when you were like, I'm going. And I was
Right.
like, what?
Yeah. No, pain management was able to see me, this new clinic.
Mhm.
And I went in, and right off the bat, I was like, oh no. Oh, and I turned to Jen and I said it. I was like, oh no. She's like, what? And I was like, I'm already getting my hopes up that this clinic will be the one that I stick with.
Yeah.
Because like it was so,
And
the
they
people there were
kind
so
and
nice
lovely.
and understanding.
Yeah.
And like we did the intake information with the starting nurse.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a nurse practitioner there. But I got her laughing, and she was really sweet, and she like we were shooting the shit. It was great. And then the doctor comes in, or the NP, and she's like, sorry, you ran a little late, and I'm super swamped, so we're gonna have to do like a lightning round.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did was apologize. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry we're late. And she was like, no, it's fine, like it happens. I was like, wait, are you a doctor? Like do you know you're not supposed to say that? You're supposed to come
be
in
mean
angry.
and guilty. Like,
Yeah.
what?
She was delightful. We went right off the bat. She was like, okay, so why are you here? And I was like, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have arachnoiditis in my back from a tumor removal.
Mhm.
And I have pain in my major joints and small fiber neuropathies, probably in my hands and feet.
Yeah. Yep.
Delivered it all like that. And
Yeah.
she was like, bet. let's go. And she didn't argue. She didn't put on the like, oh
Right.
yeah,
Like,
face.
who diagnosed you?
Right.
When was that? How long has it been like this?
Right. How
Like,
long have you been without meds?
Mhm.
Why did you leave your last clinic?
Mhm.
None of that. Like she just wanted the story. So I told her what happened with New Health, and then it was just lovely.
Yeah.
It was perfect. And she was amazing, and they were like, they don't fill the first week. That's
Yeah.
a rule. I've gone to enough clinics to know that, but she offered because she was worried I was out.
Well, and what did she say to you? Because it was lovely.
Which?
She said that you'd been through a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. She's like, I know you've been through a lot. We'll cover more next time, but are you okay for this week? And I was like, yeah. I was able to get my primary care. She's been taking care of me. And she was like, okay, good. So we'll see you next week. Blah, blah, blah. It was great. Yeah. She also is okay with me using marijuana if I need it as a supplement.
Amazing.
I mean,
amazing.
These so lovely.
Yeah.
And in everything I talked about, she understood. She knew Ehlers-Danlos. I didn't have to explain it. She knew
huge.
What goes with it.
Yeah.
And then I was talking about the tumors, and she was just blown away. She was like, I can't believe you have so much going on. I was like, I know.
It's yeah.
And she did believe, though. That's the funny part.
She just took you at your word and was like, these are facts.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Well, she saw my record beforehand, too. So I'm sure, there's plenty of stuff on there.
The attitude.
Yes.
Like, we don't see that a lot in providers.
The last provider I had that was like that was New Health. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting New Health vibes from this new place. The only thing that's different is they don't do like everything in-house.
Yeah.
Because they're not that's like a weird model that I found originally.
Right.
But she was excited that I had therapy and psychiatry lined up, that I had talked about my coping skills that I learned, and then all the meds that I've tried that failed. And then it was just great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So I have a pain management again. Yes.
We're so excited.
Took me months, but I got there.
I know. We were talking about it. It was like 4 months ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
And half of that was without help. Like that was just in the wind.
Yeah. Well, and I'm so glad she's on board for like using marijuana as a tool, because honestly, that is one of the things that helps to extend. It helps us to put distance between needing like pain medication.
The less pain meds I take, the better. Like that's
right.
Even what I told her, like that's my goal. I wanted to reduce, and that'll make a huge difference, especially with sleep.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like I'm supposed to be able to take one every 6 hours.
Right.
If I try and sleep and I can't sleep, I have to use up one that I'd rather save. That makes sense, right? Like I'd rather just sleep through the night, not have to wake up and take more pain meds. Right. But if I have a vape or whatever before I go to bed, then I sleep. I just sleep soundly too. So like, I'm excited.
I'm gonna tell you guys, I literally sleep with mine.
She cuddles it
so that when I wake up in the middle of the night in pain, I can just self-medicate and go back to sleep. But yeah, no, it's so nice that it's not as, I mean, there's a lot of procedure and structure, right? Already, but it's not so procedural that it's detrimental to the patient.
No. Like the things that they do there's some differences. Like they have random UAs. Like they can call me in at any point and be like, I need to do a UA. I need to do a pill count.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I appreciate that. I mean, they're keeping people on track. So that gives them more freedom to do things like they don't lock me in a pharmacy.
Yes.
They prefer if I have one, but if there's a shortage and they need them to send it somewhere, she literally said that she'll try and find places.
Just so nice.
And work with us to find a place that'll have the meds that I need.
Because then you're not at the mercy of one pharmacy.
Right.
Which is just not great.
The allowing the weed was huge.
Yes.
And it was so nice. And she was having fun. Like we went long.
Yeah. Even though she was behind and she was like, hurry.
Right. And then at the end,
got distracted.
I made a joke. She was like, next time we'll have more time. We'll do a longer session and I can get your surgeries and stuff in and what you do. And I was like, I'm so sorry about being late. And she's like, no, don't be. It's fine. I'm just behind today. And I was like, okay.
Oh, I love that.
And everyone was wonderful. Everyone I met there.
That's good.
So that was my Tuesday was great. I even called her up and I was like, you should come over.
Yeah. And I was exhausted. I dragged myself over.
Yeah.
And my poor husband was like,
let's go. God.
He's literally passed out on the couch over there.
He did the raid that I didn't do.
Yeah. So he was up very late last night, and he's not usually up very late. Mm-mm. He's asleep before me every single night.
Mm-hmm. That's usually me and Jen.
He'll be asleep by like 9:30.
Yeah.
At the latest.
But yeah, that was Tuesday. Then we hung out and I was messing with her. It was great.
Yep.
And let's see, what was Wednesday? Wednesday I worked on the episode. Little late, but it was fine. Like I got everything together. Thursday was hang out with Jen Day. She's into this new game, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me.
It's hard, but it's fun. It's brutal. We like it so much that I woke up at 3 a.m. and she was still playing it, and I was like, Jen, would you want to play with me for a little bit? So I got up at 3 and we played for like an hour and a half, and then we went to bed.
It just cracks me up.
It's weird. Sometimes we wake up in the middle of the night and look at each other and go,
And you're like, we're awake.
game?
It's time to be awake now.
Let's do things together?
Make breakfast at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No,
It's
we
good
make
stuff.
dinner.
Make dinner.
Well, yeah, because I don't know why, but when I wake up and if Sophie's still awake at 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
we make pizza.
Oh, yeah. That's just what you do.
But homemade pizza.
Yeah.
So we're talking like letting
It's
the dough
your
rise
pizza.
for an
It's
hour.
amazing.
Like
Rude.
it takes time.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. And then we did the lives.
Yep.
I really wanted to do the lives.
Yeah.
And I'm glad
And they
we
were
did.
really fun. We had a really good time.
Yeah, we always do.
Yeah.
Please join us for the lives. They're fun. Even if you're just watching.
Yeah.
You can watch us on
It's good
YouTube.
stuff.
You can join us on Discord. It's all
Mhm.
good.
We sometimes we plan the episodes, so you could be part of that.
Yeah.
Because part of this whole experience is that this is not just for us, it's for you too.
Mhm.
And we like your participation when it comes to what you guys want from us.
Or if they've gone through something. A lot of times we'll come up with a subject based on something someone's going through.
right, it's like relevant to someone in our like sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that works out great. Like we're
Yes.
able to hit subjects that are important.
Yeah.
And things that we wouldn't normally think about.
Right.
You know, like, oh well,
Yeah.
that's
There have been ones where we'll like plan an episode and get ready to do that, and we're like, we're good to go, and then somebody will say something and we look at each other and we're like, scratch that, we got something here. This
Yeah.
is way bigger and we could say a ton
lot, yeah.
about this.
exactly.
Because it's just, I feel like people like hearing our train of thought as we talk through our thinking.
Hopefully. I mean,
'Cause
they said
we
they
walk
like the
through
craziness.
the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like we get up here and we're like, we have a topic and here's all the facts. We're like, let's talk about what life is actually like,
Mm-hmm.
because it's different.
Yeah. Very.
All right, where do you want to start?
Well, that's a good question. Let's talk. Well, let's just talk commiserating in general,
Okay.
because that's kind of the
overall umbrella.
root was
Yeah.
commiserating and the benefits to commiserating.
Yes.
So we can talk about the study. Let's start
You
there.
want to start with the study?
Yeah,
So, how many months ago was that?
it was like 4 or 5. Wait, no, you're right. It was more
I think it was
January,
like
February.
6 months ago. So we were approached by somebody who was going through creating this survey
Yeah.
for chronic pain podcast listeners.
Yes.
I guess is the best way to put that. To talk about what, like the benefits of commiseration, the benefits of having a community, the building of a community, all these different things. Are you
Mhm.
pulling it up?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Perfect. Talking about like what the social and emotional benefits are of having these podcasts out there for people who are going through it and who might feel really alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like they were just gauging like if they get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Like why they do it, and then the relationship they have with the podcast.
Yes.
So this is the result we got. We can get a more
Detailed.
in-depth
Yeah.
researchy type paper, which I think I'm going to ask her for.
Yeah.
But this
I
is
wanna
the
see it.
abstract of the study that she did. So chronic illness frequently decreases individuals' ability to receive social support.
Mhm.
105 listeners of health-related podcasts completed online closed and open-ended surveys. Results indicate that 97% of respondents experience social isolation because of their illness, and 90% report listening to the podcast helps them feel less isolated.
Mhm.
Additionally, condition-specific podcasts allow people to gain relevant information about managing health, as well as part of a community of people who understand them. Finally, results suggest parasocial relationships with the hosts of the podcast correlate positively with informational support, which subsequently is correlated with positively and perceived emotional support.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we don't really vibe with is the parasocial, because
Mhm.
we have real relationships with anyone who's willing to engage with us.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
our Discord is open to anybody. And we're
Yes.
like, if you have something you need to say or questions, come ask us.
Yeah.
Ask the community for
No,
help.
always. Because the thing is we felt alone in the way that we were experiencing our illness. because there's this like, I don't even know how to put it, because I don't want to discourage anybody from seeking out community within like online groups.
Yeah.
But we were finding that there wasn't a place for us to use our dark humor to
Right.
cope. There wasn't a place for us to use humor in general to cope. There wasn't a place for us to be like, I don't know. It was very much
like throwing theories out too. Like,
yeah.
There weren't places where we could go, so I have this thing.
Yeah.
Anyone experience this? Anyone have some, and get
Is there-
positive feedback, and not
Right.
somebody who's telling you specifically that you're wrong, or that
Yeah.
can't be this, or this is definitely this.
Right. Well, and it's sorting through so many responses all
Yeah.
at the same time, or no responses sometimes,
Mhm.
or the mods will get on. I had one once where I was talking about like bad doctors. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do when you have a bad doctor? And it was pulled by a moderator because it was instigatory.
Yeah, you were starting a fight somehow.
And I was like, I don't understand how, but it was so restricted and so narrowed, and it was also hard to be able to talk about other things, because we have Ehlers-Danlos, but we have Ehlers-Danlos and a
Everything
whole
else,
slew
yes.
of other stuff
Mm-hmm.
that we were finding that it was hard to talk about within those like very condition specific groups.
Right. Well, think about like in our community, we found a lot of people who are bipolar.
Yes.
That's not necessarily linked. There, not that I know of, that there's a link between
No.
bipolar and EDS. But I'm bipolar,
Mhm.
so I talk about my experiences, and all of our bipolar buddies
Yeah.
can like jump in and talk about it, and we all get something out of it. Especially like being bipolar, because there's such a stigma to it.
Yes.
Like, we're crazy, we're gonna
Right.
go off the handle and kill people.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I watch true crime docs, one of their favorite things is to say, oh, this person was bipolar, and that's clearly why they, it's like, excuse you.
Out there murdering people when you have a manic high. I don't know.
Right. No.
Well, and
The-
my husband is bipolar, so I get to talk about it from the viewpoint of someone who is like their loved one is experiencing it. So
Yeah.
I know you have bipolar, and I experienced that in a very narrow field.
Right.
But with my husband, it's
You still have
different,
experiences.
right?
You have a different perspective, but that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
we couldn't in a Facebook group. Like, there'd be no. I'd have to find a different Facebook group.
exactly.
And-
Well, and then by then you're spread across all these groups, and none of it feels, I want to say intimate. None of it feels.
Right. It's not
You're
home.
not finding connection.
Right.
You're lost among thousands of people.
Yeah, you're a voice in a crowd,
Yes.
but not like a crowd of people that are
Right.
working
And it's
together.
not collaborative. Yes.
Right.
That's exactly what I mean. It's like the collaborative portion where we want to, when we started off, we decided that, yeah, we have EDS and we're going to talk about that, but we have other things going on, and we understand that other people have other things going on. And we started to kind of discover that we could create connections with people who don't even share our same symptoms or
Exactly.
disorders,
Mm-hmm.
simply by taking out that comparative piece, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just allowing people to be people and find commonalities where they exist.
Right. Yeah. And what's great is we have people that will help you theory craft in a way.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to call Ruth out because Ruth, you're amazing. We love you
I love it.
so much.
Yeah.
But like, even when we're talking about things, Ruth will be like, she'll ask questions
Mhm.
and get everybody thinking about a certain
Yeah.
like point of view that we normally wouldn't have. Like,
Right.
it's great having that sounding board,
Yes.
right?
Well, and it's so interesting to see like people learning things from us too.
Right.
Where we like once we talked about hinging and how
Yeah.
you bend over and what that's like for somebody who is hypermobile, because it's not the same. Is your ring stuck?
Yeah. Don't mind me just fighting with my MCASy fingers. I got it.
Oh, okay.
Pachow.
I was like, put something slick on there.
Swollen. Look at this. The fat fingies. They're fat
I know, I
fingies,
told
bro.
you,
I'm
mine-
swollen.
Mine were all swollen.
Look at that. My left hand's more swollen.
My right hand's more swollen.
Interesting.
We have the power together.
Sausage fingers. Anyway.
Beautiful, wonderful, well done. But yeah, no, it was a lot of like, if we could take the comparative piece out and just acknowledge that everybody is suffering, we may be suffering different symptoms and different issues, But there are so many more commonalities
Hmm.
between all of these things. And if we stop looking at it as this like weird hierarchy of who has it the worst and who needs to sit down because you don't know enough and whatever it is,
Yeah.
we were able to craft this very bizarre community full of really wonderful people who
Yeah.
have a myriad of disorders and problems that they deal with,
Hmm.
but who can interact with us, and we all have this mutual understanding, which is just so lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different.
In the vein of the topic, I did talk to you about this. My friend who went to the hospital.
Oh yeah.
So this is a good example of what my thought process was about this. That what started it.
Yeah.
Is that we were talking. My friend developed a MRSA infection that took him out for months. He was out for 2 months in the hospital, and now it's spread to his hip, and he has to have a hip replacement. And he's like 19. He's a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's struggling with finding a job, trying to pay for things, not having support of a family,
Yeah.
and not being a burden on the people around him. That was his big one. But
Yes.
I'm trying to have this conversation with him, and I'm trying to let him know that he's not alone.
Right.
And I was having such a difficult time because he's so, what's the word? He's so innocent, I guess,
Yeah.
that he thought that I was like trying to tell him.
Oh, that you have it worse.
Right,
and that
but
he
I
should
wasn't.
sit down.
I was trying to be. I get it, man. I had
Yeah.
sepsis. He sepsis. He had an infection in his blood too.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've been there.
Yeah.
And he kept like, I know. If this is even half of what you go through, then I
Aw,
can't. And I was like,
sweetie,
no, no. But he's beat down by it.
Right.
This whole situation is just taking it out of him, and
Yeah.
that's where this came from. Like, I was like,
Right.
how do we effectively communicate? How do we commiserate with people
That's
and let
the
them
thing
know?
is like breaking that bubble of I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that comparative suffering is so counterproductive for all of us. It's so bad
Mm-hmm.
that we can't reach out to somebody because we're like, oh, they might have it worse. They're dealing with more. I can't talk to them about what's happening with me because
Mhm.
it's not as bad or dire or severe.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, dude. We're all suffering. Let's open the door and go, hi, we're all suffering together.
Yeah.
And we don't have to suffer alone. And when we can suffer together, it takes out some of that weight.
Mm-hmm.
Being alone is the worst thing that you could do
Yeah.
when you are suffering. It's your illness wants you to be alone, maybe, but you are not alone, and you don't have to be alone, and you don't deserve to be alone.
Mm-mm.
And it's not fair that the world makes you feel alone. But we understand it,
Yeah.
and we're here. And when you're right, like when you try to relate with someone, you never know if they're taking it to be like, oh, well, you got to one up me every time.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, you understand me.
Right.
Because we have that weird like ADHD, like, oh, I understand because this.
Yeah. Jen
that-
Jen has that severe where it comes off like she's trying to one up you, but she's like,
Yeah.
no, I have a similar experience. Let me tell you about
Yeah.
it, and then we can be
Yes.
on the same page.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very neurodivergent thing, I've heard. I don't know if that's true or if everybody does it,
Oh, I
but
feel like it's neurodivergent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Say another condition that we talk about that's not like
Right. But that's the thing. Like, all I wanted to do was let him know that he has support and that
Yeah.
I was there for him, and he kept feeling like he was a burden on me. Like,
Right.
he was weighing me down, and he wasn't. Like,
you
I was.
can't handle my stuff when you have so much going on your own
It's like,
plate, and I'm
come on,
sorry I
man.
even bothered you or mentioned it at all. Bye.
One part of it is like societal.
Oh.
He has that voice in his head still.
Yes.
That's you're not worth anything because you're not working. You aren't like
The
good enough.
productivity trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's stuck in that, and
It's awful.
he hears it in everything people say, even though that's
Yeah.
not what they're saying.
Well, because it's back to that thing of like, even when we are in like serious conditions, it still doesn't ever feel like enough to be an excuse,
Oh, absolutely.
right? Everything feels like an excuse. You're like, I was late to work. Why? Because I dislocated my hip. that doesn't sound like a good reason for me to be late to work.
I did it. I still do it. I do it with like little things like post surgery. I was like,
Oh yeah.
I need to get up and clean.
You're
Like, dude, you had open back
surgery.
surgery.
Stop.
They opened up your spine, and I'm still like, God, why am I need to get up
I'm
and clean.
the laziest mofo there ever was.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate that.
No.
I hate that voice.
See, my husband had to tranquilize me through post-surgery.
He did.
He learned eventually that he was like,
brilliant.
this woman cannot be awake because she's a menace.
Yeah, well, you are.
Because I don't have that like off button where I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling well, I can just not do stuff.
No.
Because I'm always like, I could overcome that not feeling well
Exactly.
so easily by
Just power
backgrounding that
through it.
noise.
Yeah.
So my husband took to tranquilizing me because I don't sit
Good man.
still.
I'm glad
Yeah.
he does that.
Smart man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some of the points here.
Yes.
So, inviting others to relate and avoiding competitive, that's what we were just talking about. So we're good there.
Well, and we're kind of talking about that different but same. So I think, yeah, let's dive into that. So the reason that this community works, and this is not like shameless plug. This is just, why is this community different and why did we need something different?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if we're not sharing the same conditions, we are sharing many of the same experiences.
Yeah.
Like experiences with doctors. That is a huge one across so many boards. If you have had to deal with chronic illness and doctors,
Yeah.
we all got something in common, and it's probably not great.
Oh, and it goes international. It crosses
Yeah.
borders. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
something that everyone will experience.
Oh, it's terrible. But again, like, you're not alone in that. And
Right.
that's why we are big advocates of, like, don't stay with bad doctors.
Right.
Understand what's appropriate and what's not, and put yourself first because you need to.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all different conditions, right? But we have so many same experiences.
Right. Like, our first experience was Logan,
Yeah.
my friend who's kind of the fault it generated this podcast in part.
Uh-huh.
But he was listening to us, and we were talking about imposter syndrome, and he's always had this since I've known him. He always felt like he was faking it.
Yeah.
Like his way through our life. And it's like, no, you have imposter syndrome. But he was so struck by it
Mm-hmm.
that we had something we could relate to.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any like health concerns in the same way. I mean, he's a little neurodivergent, but
Right.
he still has horrible imposter syndrome. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
had he has a really nice job, and he didn't at the time feel like he was worth it.
Right. Or like deserved to be there,
Yeah.
or that you tricked everybody. And we still have that feeling all the time.
Yeah.
Because we have a podcast, and that's weird. And maybe we are the most selfish humans to ever live. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. It's just the brain.
But that's what it is. It's same, but different.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the times it's hard to convey that you're
But you're not trying to one up.
right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, he brought up this other thing that's vaguely connected.
Yeah.
Like, and it sounds worse than what I went through. It's like, no.
It doesn't have to be better or worse or less severe and more severe. Like,
Yeah.
we've said from the very beginning that comparative suffering is the enemy. Like, that is not the world that we are living in. It's not the world we should be living in. And it's only going to make you feel more alone. It's only going to isolate you further.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Which is the spiral, right?
Yeah.
You're alone.
Mhm.
Clearly, you're the problem. So you're alone. You deserve to be alone.
Yeah.
You're not
and
worthy
then
of
just
people.
right down the tubes into your like rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do when you're told that like asking for help is not
Mhm.
an option because it's not that bad. It's fine. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Stop. Your bootstraps are they're not there anymore.
Right.
You ripped them off.
We've
Knock
told
it off.
we've told the story before, but like this is how we fell into commiserating.
Yes. I love this one.
We were both EDSE. I had multiple surgeries. I think you had surgeries by then. This is pre-diagnosis, right?
No, because I only had surgery after diagnosis. So
It
you
was
had had
I was
your
my shoulders and my
done.
back. I hadn't done my hips yet.
You didn't do your back until after EDS.
Really?
I think. I'm pretty sure. Because you and I were still like close. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
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 I
think
think it was just
shoulders. Yeah. But I was super depressed.
And we hadn't talked for a while at this point because
No.
you had been in self-isolation and I had begun my journey into self-isolation.
Yeah, at this point I had tried 8 years of trying to get solutions on what my problem was, and
Yeah.
was convinced that I was making it up and I just couldn't hack it as a human, because everyone else can do it, but I couldn't. Like I was a stay-at-home dad. I was a failure.
Yeah.
Like,
why is this still so hard for me? It's like I'm not doing anything. Yeah.
right.
Like,
so
not good.
You would visit. I don't know what got us started on visiting though, but we kind of made it like a monthly thing in the beginning where you would show up like
after Sophie was born.
Yeah.
That we like really kind of reconnected in a this isn't awkward, and I'm not sure why it's not awkward, but I'm gonna take it and run with it. And so after Sophie was like 7 months old, I'd be visiting quite often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it just kind of, we would test things out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, how are you doing? The answer was tired, always tired.
Tired.
Which is code for, I'm not doing great.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just tired. And then it kind of evolved from there. Right? Like, it'd be like, I'm not doing great. I had this happen. And then I would like, if we recognized it, we'd both like, oh, you have that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I hate that. Isn't that the worst?
Uh-huh. And then we would describe it, and the other one would be like, oh my God, you're in my head. How are you describing exactly what's going on with me? This is freaky, and I don't know if I've like made it up to match what you're saying. Or
that
we
was
had
the
to
most
fact check it with his wife.
Yeah.
To make sure that we weren't both crazy people.
Mm-hmm. Right, because we would literally describe something like, "Oh, same thing," and then I'd be like, "Right, Jen, that happened, right?"
Yeah,
and she's like, "Yes, that is."
Yeah,
because
or she would get like her ears would perk up, and she'd be like, she'd listen to me talk, and it started. She would like sit on the edge of the couch, and then she slowly got more integrated into the conversations, and she was like, "Oh my God, he has that. He has blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I have that."
Yeah,
it was just the weird.
Well, it was weird because like, when we were reconnecting, the only main thing that I knew you had was the sciatica, right?
Yeah.
Like I knew you suffered with bad sciatica, and I had surgeries done, but it wasn't a big thing yet.
Because it wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
We didn't know it was a condition. We
Right.
just figured like, I don't know, my stuff's broken.
Well, and I felt guilty too. I had that sibling guilt because I moved out early, and it was like, I feel bad. I'm a monster. I did bad things. I don't deserve family anymore.
But then I wouldn't let him be.
Right.
Because at that point I was like, I don't care, and I'm going to keep coming over here.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Because I love you guys. The end.
Yeah. But that's like how we started on the how to relate. It took us a while, but we got there.
Yeah. Well, and the more we did it, the more we realized that we were like, this is really super common between the two of us. Like we were having the same symptoms the same way. You would describe like your shoulders and why you had them done, and I was like, yeah, my right arm doesn't work good. I can't raise it to brush my hair. And so it was just like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And at the more we unraveled it, the more we were like, there's so much here. So much here. And then it turned into the other brother, our little brother, kind of skidding in that direction. I think I asked him. Yeah? I think, if I remember, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I asked him. I was like, hey, so you know how like Sarah has problems with her ankles and her hip? Yeah. Do you have any of the... And he'd be like, yes. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. I would talk about stuff before... This is before we were hanging out again. Yeah. But Alex was coming over for game night. And I would say things and he would go, oh, yeah, you get that? And I was like, yeah, dude, it sucks. Yeah. So I think most of the siblings are impacted in some way. Yeah. But I think the three of us are really like majorly impacted. Yeah. To the point where it's disruptive to life. But it was just an interesting experience to be able to like commiserate in that way and have somebody who really actually understood what you were going through. Yeah, it wasn't lip service. Yes. They like, it was... Well, it's not you just could tell. Sympathy. Right. Sympathy is one thing, and that's what people who don't understand can give you. They can give you their sympathy. Right. And it's not their fault. That's all they can give you. But that's not helpful. That doesn't make us feel connected. That makes us feel othered. Right. That's separating you. Yeah. They're putting up their support, but it gets interpreted as you're different from me. Yeah. like I can imagine your situation, but I'm not in it.
And I'm so sorry that you're in that situation, you poor thing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
not
Well,
helping
okay,
me.
so like when we first started hanging out, I was post suicide attempt.
Yes.
Like it was bad. I think that might have been what spurred it on originally, right?
Yeah,
Was that
because Bug came to me in Castle Rock and told me about it.
yeah.
And then we like cried it out. And then I was like, haha, you're never getting rid of me ever again. Are you absolutely serious right now?
But that shows you where I was mentally.
Yeah.
Even just hanging out and like starting our journey changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like the outlook was less I'm a problem, more
Yeah.
that I have a problem.
Right.
And I was more willing to search it out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I was
right.
like
The perseverance through the no's.
Yeah.
Because by that point you had experienced a whole ton of no's, and I had been in the game for like a couple years maybe by that point, and I didn't have insurance. Like I had Medicaid for like 3 months.
Mhm.
And then because it was our thyroids that we were talking about
Yes.
first, I think. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's going on with my thyroid. I had this problem, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So I was just starting my medical journey and was getting no's and was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll just give up.
Yeah. Well, and that was our commiserating. It
Yeah.
was that we're not getting anywhere. Like, why
Right.
can't, so it was isolating, but it brought us together.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Well, because then you and I were on the same page when it came to like looking for things. And I would send you things and be like,
Yeah.
hey, this sounds familiar, but not quite right, but maybe check it out.
hmm
And then he saw a video.
And then I saw a video. Thank you, Martina.
Uh-huh.
You saved my life. And probably hers. But
And
who
the
cares
little
about it?
ones and all of
Yeah.
Yeah.
No joke.
Thank you.
Build a ladder, idiot.
Yes. Go outside. But
Good-
yeah.
Damn it.
So funny.
But yeah, like it's interesting what little shared experiences can be, like how
Yes.
effective they can be in just helping you
It's
cope.
almost like a sense of relief.
Oh, it was for
Because
sure.
I don't even know, like you hold it all to yourself and you're like, can somebody see this? Can somebody understand this? Can somebody relate to this that I have? And then people were like, ew, gross, get your weird illness stuff out of my face. And
Yeah.
you'd be like, okay, I'm so sorry. But then we were more into looking. So we were actually actively searching
Yeah.
for answers. And so I was doing my like combined search terms and then the video,
hmm
and he was like, look into Ehlers-Danlos, like HEDS.
Yeah.
And it wasn't HEDS at the time. It was Ehlers-Danlos type 3.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and
hypermobility type. Yeah.
it was a great example of like where we were at mentally, where I was like, here's the thing. It probably is nothing. Yeah, but maybe look at this. I remember I brought it up. I was like,
Yeah.
I saw this video about it, and what you said was, nah, it's probably not that. You know what I mean? Like we were sitting on the couch,
Probably, yeah.
and I was like, I downplayed it, and then you downplayed it more. So I was like, oh,
Then I went home and I like Googled it.
yeah, you looked it
And
up.
I looked it up and I texted you,
You
and I was
did.
like, this is what we've got.
Mm-hmm.
We have EDS.
Yeah, because I was like, this ticks all the boxes, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to like present it and then get shot down.
Yeah.
So I was like, here's, take a look at it.
Oh, man.
But it did. It ticked every box, which was
Yeah.
weird for the first time.
Right. And at that point, we knew we were not that crazy.
Right. But that's where commiserating got us. Like
Yeah.
if we hadn't done that, I'd still be
Right.
super depressed and
Yes.
messed up.
Yes.
I wouldn't be moving.
Right.
I'd be bedbound.
Well, and I would have given up.
Right.
I would have gotten tired of hearing no's from doctors. I would have felt like I was going to be perceived as attention seeking. And so
Mhm.
I would seek no attention
Right.
ever again. Stop that right there.
It's like the report said.
Yeah.
We had to feel less lonely.
Yeah.
When you're less isolated, you're more likely to help yourself and take care of yourself. Right.
Well, and then you start to notice that symptom, like weird things in your body are
Mhm.
actually symptoms.
Right.
Because there have been times even on the podcast where we will describe something
Yeah.
and then our followers are like, oh my God, exactly that. What is that all about?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, oh, I didn't know those things were connected.
Mhm.
I'll have to do some
Research.
research.
Yeah.
And I have a friend, Tiffany, who didn't know what all was in pots. She was like, I just thought it was the dizziness. And I was like, nope, it's
There's a
this,
lot.
this. But that's what collaborating can do, is bring us together so
Yeah.
we can exchange information and share information. But that's where it gets a little bit interesting because we have to be very careful about.
Oh yeah, we'll get
sharing.
into that in the second half.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that maybe instead of commiserating, it's collaborating.
I think it is.
Right.
I think it really is a collaborative effort.
Because that's what it's like. You can commiserate in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then it turns into a collaborative.
Right.
Like, oh,
I think
you're
the
going through this.
commiserating is what like makes us open the door a little further.
Right.
Because we're like, oh,
You got to test
you
the
can-
waters.
you can understand me? Oh,
Mhm.
interesting. And then you talk more, and then you get that collaborative
Yeah.
effort going on.
So we'll talk in the second half about facts
Yes.
and opinions and ways how to approach things and not be a jerk. How to actually make the connection without
Without,
downplaying someone's
Yeah.
condition or downplaying the situation.
right, without invalidating something.
Yeah.
In order to boost your own validation.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to. It'll be fun. But it is time for our break. So they need to
Take your meds,
drink water.
hydrate or dihydrate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Have a
fact.
snack.
Why?
Because you are a snack.
Aw. That was meant for you guys.
You
not
are
me.
a snack.
I'm not a snack.
Everybody's the snack. I'll bite you. I will.
I will bite you.
Sibling time.
She will.
I
And,
will.
and I'll giggle.
Because it hurts.
Facts. She's right. Take a break if you're in
Yes.
the middle of something and you need to take a break.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, you can come back to it. It's
Mhm.
okay. Catch your breath. Let your heart rate come down. It'll be okay.
And then do something nice.
Yes. Find some sunlight. It's good for you. It's good for your sleep cycle. But don't go outside and burn.
Right.
'Cause I know it's hot. Lots of places.
Be smart.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Yes.
Also, bipolar check. Are you manic?
Here we go again.
It's important.
Here we go again.
It's
Yeah.
super important. For me, like I need to do these checks. And I figure
Yeah.
if I can trigger someone into thinking and realizing,
Uh-huh.
maybe you avoid chaos and manic spending or manic moving or manic
Or-
depressing.
Don't go adopt an animal on a whim.
Yeah, get a confirmed buddy. You need a buddy to be like, that was manic.
They're like, no, you don't need ferrets. You also don't need 17 ferrets. Put them back.
But yeah, just check in with yourself.
Yes.
Like I said, check in with yourself, get to know yourself better.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's that metacognition.
Mm-hmm. We'll
The
work on it
thinking
together.
about your thinking. Yeah. In the meantime, we're gonna go do some of those things, and we'll be right back.
Bye.
Oh, hi. Do you like Fantastic Pains? Would you like to see more of the Fantastic Pains podcasting crew? If so, you should join our Patreon. The Patreon, as we like to call it, is the new home of our behind-the-scenes content, full uncut recording sessions, our short-form videos such as TikToks and YouTube Shorts, and our past live streams. You can also find some Patreon exclusive content such as our new music reviews, lost episodes, and is the new home of our Mini Voices series, all of which can be found in our higher tier dubbed The Only Pains. The Patreon is the best way to support the podcast, so whether you want to see more of us or just want to help us grow, feel free to sign up following the link in the description below, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the show.
Welcome back. How was your break? I scared myself with that intro because I wasn't ready either.
I was like, oh my god.
Well, we're in it.
All right. Hi. Did you do the things?
We did.
Did you do any of the things?
At
I
least
hope so.
one. At least
And
you
if-
thought about
If
it.
you didn't, maybe like set a timer so that you make sure that you have time for those things. For
And then
yourself.
snooze it
Don't do that.
for an
That
hour.
would be a me thing.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
we don't
say.
want to be like me.
Well, no. Anyway, what are we talking about for this half?
Aha. So we're going to go into very briefly, I think, the importance of sharing your experiences.
Mhm.
And it can be so hard to get started on this path if you are feeling alone,
Mhm.
because what happens when we feel alone? We're like, we share it, immediately write off everybody and go, they don't
Yeah.
understand me.
Yep.
And then we feel more alone and bitter on top of it,
Yeah.
which is not a good place to be.
Every decision that they make is malice towards
Yeah.
you. I hate that. I
Right.
hate that. Like, oh, they
Or
went to hang out and they clearly left
inconsiderate,
me out. Yeah.
Yeah. Or they stopped inviting me because I kept saying no. Like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
voice is not handy.
we don't want that. So we get loud.
It's, yeah.
We like, I'm gonna tell you guys, I was a complete disaster. I didn't know what was happening with me. I didn't think anybody believed me. I was told that it was migraines for a long time. Now I identify a lot of it as POTS. And I was just drowsy and angry, and I felt sick all the time. I was nauseated constantly. And I had horrible headaches and would get overwhelmed really easily. And I was not nice to be around.
No.
Like, really not
Ditto.
nice to be around. To the point where my in-laws eventually sat me down and they were like, listen, I know you don't feel very good a lot of the time, but we need to know that ahead of time so that we know what's like where we stand with you in the moment. And I was like, I can tell you how I feel. What? You want me to tell you how I feel
about that?
What?
Yeah.
And so now I never shut up. Never.
No.
I don't shut up, and I refuse to shut up.
Explicit communication and loud. Those are her.
Yeah. Yeah. If something hurts, I'm going to be like, how? That really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to be like, what? And I'm going to be like, never mind. It's
Don't
fine.
worry about it.
It's for me. I'm talking for me. I am making noise
No,
for myself. Not right
Clearly,
now,
you
but...
overreact in that moment. So, like, you go, ow. And you're like, are you hurt? And you yell, this isn't about you. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Just
stay away. It's mine. This is my pain and you can't have it.
Just asked if you're okay.
Which is clearly a threat.
Yes.
To my existence. Stop that. But yeah, when I learned that I could communicate what was going on with me and I could tell people like what's happening, it not only made it easier for me to bear because I wasn't smooshing all of it down and packing it away and then being bitter and angry about it, because other people can't read your mind.
Nope.
But I was also able to, like, they had a better idea of how to interact with me. And it takes so much of the tension and anger out of it just to be able to say, like, I really don't feel good.
Right.
And then they know I don't feel good and they're aware of it now.
And you're aware of it.
And I'm aware of it. And now I've got it out of me and I can go on with my life while not feeling good.
Yeah, I was doing it last night.
Yeah.
We were hanging out, Sophie, me, and Jen, watching. We were trying to watch. I tried to get her to watch Alien, but she was like, that doesn't look fun. I was like, you'll love it. But she couldn't.
I've never finished it.
But where was I going with that? Oh, yes. I lost it. It's gone.
What you were doing last night, you were being loud. You were not shutting up.
Oh, yeah. I kept going, I don't feel good. And Sophie would be like, you okay? And I was like, no. And she's like,
but it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, there's power in kind of desensitizing people to it.
Yeah.
Because not only is it good for you, but in a social emotional sense, it's good for other people to be exposed to you.
Yes.
I know that sounds super weird, but the reason that there's so much bias when it comes to disability and illness and chronic illness is because people don't know anything more than when you're sick, and when you're not, you're not.
Right. And
when we are sick all the time forever, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle us.
No.
They will also forget that you're ill because you are either high masking or high functioning. Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate that. Ugh.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was all about it.
Right. And that's where we get the, like, oh, you used a cane one day and then not the other.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I got to start exposing you to it so that you can
those
understand that not all disabilities look the same.
Yeah.
And illness is different for each and every person. Some people catch a cold and that cold stays with them for 3 months.
Yeah, Jen. Sorry,
so it's not as simple as, like, oh, you were hurt and now you're better, or like you were sick and now you're not sick. We are always hurt and we are always sick, and we function within that as a baseline. So sharing your experience can also, like, while you're searching for some kind of relief to feeling alone, you're also providing relief to other people who are coming across whatever it is you're putting out there, because they didn't think anybody could possibly understand what was happening with them.
No.
And then they read what you wrote or they heard what you said, and now there's another person who doesn't have to feel alone. I'm going to be a good girl and take my meds here. You talk for a minute.
So the beginning of the movie, There's Ridley and there's some other guys. They don't matter because they die, but that's not the point. The point is the aliens have acid spit and a little mouth in their mouth.
Mouth in a mouth.
They got a mouth in a mouth. And so, you know, it's a really bad retelling of Alien. It goes crazy when it's on fire.
But when you're loud,
Yeah.
you find not only the relief in like getting it up and out of you, because I'm a big believer in don't push it back down because it's going to explode someday. You're creating a volcano. It's not a good idea. Just get it out of you. Experience things as you experience them.
Yeah.
And then you can create your own self-validation and your own self-confidence in living life as someone who is chronically ill.
Yeah.
Instead of the shame of hiding that you're chronically ill.
Yes. Oh my God. Duh, the shame.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good example because I did that for a long time. I was like, I'm fine, guys. It's cool. Don't worry about me. Like, only I think one of my friends knew that I had something going on.
Yeah.
Because I was drunk one time in the long ago. And we were playing around with basketball, and I was like, I was drunk enough to be like, nothing hurts. Look what I can do. And I jumped up and I dunked on the rim. And my friend Jess was like, should you be doing that right now?
Yeah.
I was like, it's fine. I can't feel it. It's not broken. And she's like, that's not how that works. And you know it. And I was like, shut up.
Yeah.
And then I regretted it because I definitely pulled it out of the socket.
Yeah.
My right shoulder.
Yep.
But that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, go ahead. You're fine.
Yeah, you just, I don't know. That self-confidence and self-validation is so important because then you don't need to rely on other people to tell you that you are in fact ill and you're okay. It is so nice to have that, and I love when that's provided to me and when I can provide that to other people because you are worth it. No matter what, you are worth it because you are a human being and you exist and we love you.
Yeah.
There you go. Stop being mean to yourself, please.
Please. You got to start with you so then everyone else will be nice to you.
Yeah, there you go. Or you start listening to the people who are nice to you.
And believing them. Yeah.
That's what I did because I learned that I could not trust my own self-perception. And so I just started kind of collecting information on what other people could give back to me as feedback and going, okay, so if all of these people are saying this one thing, it's probably safe
true
to believe that.
Yeah.
And I can incorporate that into my sense of self now.
Yeah. It's a good skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important to work on like your self-talk as a whole.
Right. Well, that's what talking to yourself, like being explicit, will do.
Yes.
That's where you get the self-validation, right? Like, we both do it. The ow, pay attention, kind of hand it out to your wife or husband, and then they go, okay, put it away.
Like, I don't feel good. And
Yeah.
He's gonna be like,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
You're good.
You're sorry.
Yeah.
You'll be okay though.
And
But
then you start to believe that you're actually ill.
Yes.
Like, it's
and
nice.
accept it and not have to gaslight yourself every day trying to figure out if you're just crazy. Because again, I will say this for the newbies. If you're doing it by yourself, it's probably not for attention. So there.
Let's suck on that.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're valid and we see you.
Yeah. I see you right now.
Oh, no.
Headache? No? What?
Sharp stabby pains.
Oh no, you got the skull stabs.
I got the skull stabs.
The
They're going
ice
into
pick.
my eye. It's like,
The ice pick, yeah.
ow.
Oof. Randy said his neck was hurting yesterday, too. He went to work with a big old headache. I wonder what we're getting for weather.
Oh, God. That was not pleasant.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Never sorry.
Got shut down by a
You
weird stabby
Stop
headache.
it. Yeah.
Literally, my eye's blurry now.
Oh my God.
Stop. Okay.
But yeah. So this comes to like helping others while helping yourself and being very careful and clear when handing out like fact or opinion.
Yes.
Because while we both have these conditions, we are not like the authority on these conditions.
No.
We are an authority on our
Ourselves.
experience.
Yeah.
Our experience of these conditions, but we are not the authority on the conditions themselves.
Right.
So we make that clear by saying we're not morticians.
Right. We're not.
Don't follow our advice.
We can't.
We're
We
not
can't do
morticians.
anything for you.
I don't know.
We're not doctors. We're
Yeah.
not morticians. It's fine.
I can tell you stuff that might have worked for me. That's what I can give you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's so handy though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
this whole like this part of the conversation sucks because I'm really upset. I get really upset about people who throw their opinions around as fact
Yeah.
and then give bad advice.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, my favorite example of that is the when I first started gabapentin, I was looking into the drug, and I was in like the Facebook EDS group, one of those, and somebody was in there saying, I will never, because I posted, I was like, okay, so I'm on gabapentin. How's everybody else reacting to this? Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
What do we know about this drug? And I got a bunch of people coming back and going, it killed all of my nerves. I've never been sicker. Like all of this, like really, really intense fear driven stuff that people were saying, where they were like, never let anybody give this to you. It's the worst. It's only going to make things worse. Da, 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 da. And I was like, but I've had a really good experience with gabapentin so far.
yeah.
Like, I'm upping the dose, so I'm wondering what side effects I should look out for. But
No.
why are we doing the fear thing and talking about, like, it killed your nerves? Did it?
Right. Think about that.
Did it? Like,
Well, and
No.
they're coming from like their experience is the only experience.
yeah.
And they're gonna
Well, everything's black and white. Either it works or it doesn't.
right. There's
So
no kind of works,
it's that,
especially
like, confirmation bias
when
thing.
they can develop these wrong opinions too just by miscorrelating things, which really
Yes.
bothers me.
Yeah.
Like if I say something like if I'm like, oh, I can't take prednisone because I was swollen and I had this bad reaction,
Mhm.
I want to be able to back it up.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, my thought, I lost it. It was a really good thought.
I'm sorry, your head is all scattery.
It is very scattery.
Yeah, being able to like back it up. So I usually just say that, like, whatever. No, go ahead.
No, I remembered. It was just, I'll put like an asterisk and be like, it's actually, it could be this other thing I got going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Not always, but you know what I mean.
Right. Well, and usually when I approach it that way with like theories, especially at the doctor, I'm like, I'm wondering if it could be related to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I'm like, I don't know. This is the theory I've developed. It might be in tandem with this other thing or this trigger or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's hard to know what's what, especially when you're on multiple medications and you have multiple like comorbidities in your system, or like mental health, especially finding the right medication is so challenging.
Yeah.
So challenging. But you have people out there who are like, blanket statement,
Don't take.
this bad, don't
Right.
use, very scary thingy.
Or they moralize it.
That too.
You're a bad person if you end up taking gabapentin. Or you know what I mean?
I did it without pain meds and I'm 14. You're like, what? But yeah, no, other ill people will shame you for how you treat
Yeah.
your illness.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
And they have some bug up their butt. I always feel like it's people who
or
are
it's
jealous.
a pyramid scheme.
Or it's a pyramid
And they're
scheme.
selling multivitamins.
Right.
Don't
They
buy
change your DNA.
multivitamins. Stop it. It's a scam. It's a literal scam.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. And anyone who says they can cure your EDS,
Lying.
they lie. Don't look for cures. There's no point right now. They will announce it if they ever find one. Don't do it.
Yeah, just treat yourself. Don't waste your time.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself to some EDS.
Yeah. But no, I think it's important that we are always clear on things that are factual.
Like where we're coming from.
Yes. And what's opinion and what's like, these are the things that I've put together, but I could be totally wrong.
Right.
And just that caveat of like, I'm not the authority. I can't tell you for sure.
Well, even when
anything.
citing things, we do it.
Yeah.
Like if we're citing, oh, well, there was this research paper, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It might pertain to this, or, you know what I
Right.
mean? We're not like,
Yeah.
this is fact. Someone did a study on it and we
Right.
know.
Right.
No.
Well, and I think, honestly, on the internet, you should be taking everything with a grain of salt anyway.
Yeah.
Just because there's there's a lot of technology and a lot of lies and a lot of, it's hard to know what's what.
And especially in a world where people just want to get their name out there.
Yes.
So they publish these results and they're skewed. They
Yeah.
don't mention the other numbers they gathered that
Yeah.
contradict their point.
Yeah. No, for sure. But yeah, no, most of the time we just say, we're not morticians.
We're not.
We're not morticians. You don't have to listen to us. It's all good. But no, I think find a community or build a community.
Use ours.
You can hop in and like message either of us. We're totally happy to interact with you.
Oh, yeah.
We are always pleased to interact with you. And if you've made it this far, please like, share, subscribe, or follow. And we'll see you hopefully in the Discord.
Yeah, right?
Please. Yeah. And we read every comment and we share them between us.
We do.
So you can always just comment if you're not ready for Discord land.
Right. We and we receive all the emails and stuff too.
Yes.
Like any way you contact, we interact.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're going to.
We get excited. We like you guys.
Yeah, it's weird.
We're like people who are like going through the same stuff we are. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the whole point of this episode is like we got to create opportunities to move past sympathy with other people. And really what we're doing is we're being explicit and then inviting others
to be explicit.
Yeah, interact or be explicit or ask questions.
Yes.
That's the big one. I wish people would ask more questions.
Yeah, they get uncomfortable at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to
and
bother you.
like, they feel like it's a private thing because we have this like, it's a taboo from when we were kids. Like,
Mhm.
oh, don't stare.
Right.
Don't stare. It's in an effort to keep people from staring, but what you're teaching your child is that is not.
It's taboo.
That's
yeah.
taboo.
That's
and
not
other.
Ugh.
And then we wonder why interacting with well people is so difficult because we are a taboo. So yeah, get loud, get visible. If you have the spoons for it. I know it's hard.
True.
Sometimes you're like, I'm just gonna like slide under the radar today, which
Just
is totally
talk
fine.
to yourself on those days.
Yes.
Practice the out loud talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like thought
That's
processing.
very true. Sweet. Anything else to add?
Just that we love you guys and hopefully you got something out of this. I just want people to feel less alone.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, we're not trying to be like, this podcast is the... No. Just find a way to not be alone because you deserve to not be alone. And honestly, you're not alone. You're just isolated. And you can break through that isolation. And you will find that you're more normal than you thought you were.
Exactly. Oh.
And relatable. And it'll be okay.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
Yeah. And we're here. Like I said, reach
Yes.
out. Always.
We've
anytime.
had people reach out.
Yeah.
And we any time of the week, any time of the day.
Yeah.
Just hit us up if you need anything.
For sure. No matter where you are, we really appreciate you guys. We love getting to do this every week. And if you have topic suggestions, you can put them in the comments or in the Discord. There's a channel for topic suggestions specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And we read all of those.
Mhm.
So, okay, we're done. Yeah?
I mean, I could go
Okay, bye. No, I'm just kidding.
I could go another 20, 30 hours. Let's make this a permanent
Let's
live
just-
stream. Let's live stream it. Screw
Just
it.
walk around the exit for a while.
Like back rooms.
Yeah. Gotta find the slide. Secret slide. Yeah. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for coming along with us. We really enjoyed getting to do this one. This one was fun.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoy it as well. Until, I think season 7 on the rise. That's about it.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, sorry. Be kind to you. Be kind to others. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Oh,
My
like
Adderall
fading.
totally lost me halfway through
I
there.
think, yeah, you and me both were just like
Brr. Yeah.
tank.
I was like, brain,
And
turn
now
on.
I have a headache.
Turn on, brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got that stabby
Got
eye
this,
thing.
This whole section right here.
It was like a line through my
I
brain.
hate that.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it feels like
ugh.
someone is just like stabbing through and popping out the other side.
Yeah.
Might be a neck headache.
Oh, it could be.
Oh,
That was a fun one, though. I liked that one.
that was fun. I just
be
hope that
alone.
people are not like, this is just shameless publicity. No, it's not.
No.
It's not. It doesn't have to be with us. Just don't be alone. Stop it. Demystify chronic illness.